Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. Excuse me. Right, so here's an update of what I've been doing on this Triang R52 Jinty. So the locomotive is perfectly clean. I've reassembled the base plate with the pickups after cleaning the wheels with the what do you call it, the fiberglass pencil, and the pickups, all contacts are very good. Now what I have to do, I've got to lubricate the axles. Now last night I made a video and I decided, because see, the axles is very difficult to reach these axles because on later models of this very same locomotive there are some slots open here, here and here, so you can actually reach the axle and remove and lubricate it from this sort of inspection hatch. This is a 1959 model. Thanks Andy Reid for pointing that out in one of your comments. And CZ350 Tuner, that's the name of his channel. Of course, in this case here, it's absolutely impossible. So last night, what did I do? I tried just using sewing machine oil and put a generous drop here and here, and it went in by capillary effect. Then I tested it, but no use, because the sewing machine oil is silicone based and it's insulating. There was too much oil, it was insulating everything, and there was absolutely no electrical pickup. The motor wouldn't turn. So then what did I have to do? I re-cleaned everything. I used the contact spray, which is a powerful degreaser, cleaned a lot, and now the chassis picks up absolutely perfectly. Of course, it's not lubricated. There's no lubrication at all on this thing here now. But I want to show you that the chassis actually does pick up before we do this job. Yes, so what am I planning to do? I'll pop that back in the cradle. So, as I did on the Kleinbahn D120 060 tank engine, I'm going to lubricate these axles using my favourite technical petroleum jelly, because technical petroleum jelly is conductive. And the problem is, to fit technical petroleum jelly in these very tight spaces, I'm going to apply it with a wee slip of blotting paper. These are perfume testers. I'll cut one to size. And I'm just going to go in here very gently and apply my grease to the axle, and then move it around, and that'll. And I was anyway planning to apply some even here behind the pickups to guarantee smooth running and good electrical pickup from the pickups. But before doing that, I'm going to simply do a conductivity test on the chassis. So let's get that done. I'll just pop this up here like that. Let me see if we're not too high up. Maybe I might do some special effects and lift this up now. Okay. Righto, that's better. Okay, dokie. So now we're going to simply test the conductivity of the locomotive chassis. So I've got a nasty old Lima controller here. I use Lima controllers for these things. I don't bother using the Mehano ones in this case here. I've got an old Lima controller, and I've got 3-volt light bulb here, some crocodile clips. So we're simply going to test, make sure. I already did this test last night, so I know it's going to work. It's going to be successful. And I'm simply going to test the locomotive to make sure that the chassis, the pickups are working, and everything is working correctly before applying technical petroleum jelly, so I can understand if it's a problem. So what am I going to do now, because I have to wire these crocodile clips up in such a way. So I'm going to clip one onto the chassis, the yellow one, because the chassis is conductive. That's it. The pickups are at this side, and then I'm going to clip the other end to, this is the little clip that comes from the pickups, right? So I'm just going to clip that on there like that, like so. And just a moment, and then I'm going to plug this thing here in, and righto. Switch this on. I've switched the controller on. I don't know if you can see the controller. Trust me, there's a controller. There it is. There's a controller. Great big mile long flex as well. Righto, I've got the controller. Okay. And now I'm simply going to touch the wheels with my controller, with the two cables of the controller, and make sure that things are working properly. So you just keep your eye on the bulb. So I'm just turning the controller to about halfway. So let's see if this is working. But I'd like you to actually see what the hell I'm doing. So I'm touching one wheel, the pickup wheel. There we go. That's the other wheel. That's okay. So perfect conductivity from the chassis at the moment. There we are. I'm going to go to the other end with this one, just to make sure this wheel and this pickup are also working. Oh, means that this pickup is not touching. That's okay. This one isn't doing good contact. So that's, I suspected that this one here wasn't working properly. I'll have to open the base plate now and push that pickup out to make sure it comes in contact with the wheel. Because we want to make sure this locomotive picks up from, because it only picks up from the front and rear axle. It doesn't pick up from the middle. So that's why. So you can see that here it's okay. And I touch here, the bulb lights up. I touch here, the bulb doesn't light up. But if I move over here, you see again, I'm touching here, is no use. It's not lighting up, and here it lights up. Okay, so we're going to have to, good job, I didn't do anything. Let's switch the controller off to avoid short circuits. Pull this out of the road. Righto, so let's disconnect this rather empirical conductivity tester and have a look at this pickup. This pickup here isn't picking up well. So what we could do right now, probably, yes, you can see that here, I don't know if you can see what you can see, but I can assure you that I can see it. So we're going to repeat the test now. We're just going to repeat the test with the locomotive upside down. So let's rewire the thing up again. We'll do that. Red one on there. Red on the clip. Yellow on the chassis. And, okie doke, so that's correct. Right, let's just turn this boy upside down now. Make sure that nothing misbehaves and mismanages and does plays silly things to us. Okay. I'm just going to take my controller, switch it on again. Turn it, switch it on. And now we'll go and touch. We know that these ones work no problem. The front ones are good. I think you can see the bulb. Let me see. Yep, the bulb is visible, but I'll pull it closer, that way you can see it better. So the bulb's lighting up now, no problem. Now it lights up. Before it wasn't lighting up, you see. So what I'm going to have to do, now it's in a position where it's lighting up, no problem. Let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, good, 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 and good. Okay, so switch that off. Anyway, we have to make sure that this one here is actually making good contact. So I'm just going to very quickly take the screwdriver and unscrew this here, the base plate. And generally I use the smaller screwdrivers when I do these jobs, but they're quite wide screws, the slots are wide, so I'm just using this one here. The other day when I was working, I just grabbed this one here because it was the quickest. Okay, so we're just going to lift this out yet again. Just putting the screws down there, we don't want things to get lost. Okay, now I'll get a wee pair of pliers. I'm just lifting this up a wee bit just to get it out. Righto. And we're just going to pull this here out a bit. I twisted it out a wee bit to make sure that it's pushed well out. We'll do the same with this one to make sure we have good contact. Okay, right. Pliers out the road. We just take this here, pop it back in. That way we make sure that the pickups are pressing firmly against the wheels. Right, that's the base plate in position, the contact plate. Let's just take this screw here and stick it in the wee hole. And just finger screw it in to begin with. Let's take its mate. Get that in there as well. And yes, the phone is on flight mode. Thanks, Kristake74 for that. And that good piece of advice. This way, I'm sure that I'm not disturbed by incoming messages and emails. It took me nearly a year to realise that's what I had to do. Anyway, thanks. Thank you very much. Mulțumesc pentru sfat. Thank you for the advice. And in fact, yes, a year has passed, a full year since I restarted my channel with the models. So that's a milestone. The idea, why did I do it? Because I started, I retrieved my train set and everything in 2022, and I watched so many videos of people, doing things and maintenance and all the rest of it. And I picked up all these French Jouef locomotives and of course that Lima locomotives as well. But one of the problems was that for the Jouef locomotives and even the Picos, there weren't very many videos in English. There were videos in French, videos in German, and I can speak German. I studied German at school. I do speak some rusty-ish German, and I can understand particular technical German, because that's what I'm a bit rusty at speaking it. Ich spreche Deutsch, aber es ist ein bisschen rustig. I do speak German, but it is a bit rusty. But so I thought, well, why not, begin making videos where I show and explain and talk about these locomotives in English, maybe to increase accessibility. I mean, I can understand French. I don't speak it, but I can understand French via Italian, and yes, I can understand French. I know quite a lot of French words, and but of course it's different when you're a technical video, and you can actually watch it in a language, your own language, or a sort of general communication language, which is English. Okay, right, so that's fitted again. Let's do the test again now. Oh, these are nice and springy. Good, let's do the test. Switch the controller on. So a year has passed, and the locomotive that I decided, that prompted me to begin the channel again, was the Pico BR64, which was really needing such a lot of attention that when I bought this thing and I said, I'll buy this and I'll begin making videos again. And I hadn't really made my mind up on how to do it and, make nice videos, edited videos, and then I went for the rough and ready ones done with a phone. And then, thanks to Alberto, I miei treni, I discovered Clideo, so I will eventually get myself a proper editing and do things better. But as you know, this is stuff I do in my free time, and I quite like the rough and ready stuff. So okay, everything is good, perfect. Righto, oops, switch that off and off. Okay, so having accomplished the contact test has been successfully passed. Let's just unplug this. And that, shove it out the road there. Okay, so that's ready for lubricating. So we've done the test. We know that the chassis is conducting very well. There are no problems. Electricity is reaching the actual the drive of the motor, so it will power the motor coming through the wheels. It's supposed to come through the wheels. And now we're going to make another video where we apply the technical petroleum jelly with our high-tech equipment. But I'll make a separate video, because otherwise, let's see how much I've been nattering for. 18 minutes, that's long enough. Righto, see you in the next video. Cheerio, and see you shortly. If you like the video, give it a like, click the subscription button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, etc, 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 etc. Ciao, ciao.